Have you ever noticed that when something good happens in your life, you have people coming out of the woodwork to celebrate with you? But when you're going through a hard time and need support, those same people are nowhere to be found. Unfortunately, this is how a lot of relationships work. But have you ever noticed that there are some people who always seem to enter your life at the right time? They appear when you need them the most, and they never seem to have any bad timing. Do you ever wonder why this happens? Well, today we're going to take a look at 4 reasons why certain people enter your life at exactly the right time. Make sure to watch each one of them because they may just change your perspective on life. Number 1, they've been sent to teach you something. Have you ever met someone who instantly became your favorite person simply because they taught you a lesson that you needed to learn? You may have met them during a difficult period in your life when you were going through something that challenged you and helped you grow as a person. The truth is that there are some people who come into our lives to teach us important lessons, but only if we are willing to learn them. Sometimes these lessons can be about ourselves, like the importance of taking care of our own needs or the power of positive thinking. Other times, these lessons can be about other people and how to treat them, such as learning to be more empathetic or understanding. These special people who enter our lives to teach us lessons are not there by chance. Rather, they are there because they have something unique to offer us that will help us become better people. This could be a new way of looking at an old problem or a fresh perspective on a situation that we've never considered before. By opening ourselves up to their teachings, we can gain insight into ourselves and others that we never had before, leading to personal growth and self-improvement. However, it is important to remember that the responsibility for learning these lessons ultimately lies with us. We must be willing to listen and apply what we have learned in order to make positive changes in our lives. If we are not open to learning from these special people, then they will simply move on and we will miss out on the opportunity to grow. Number 2, to remind you of something you already know. There are some people who come back into our lives simply to remind us of something we already know deep down inside. This could be a truth about ourselves that we have forgotten, or a piece of advice that we need to hear again. Sometimes these reminders can be uncomfortable, but they are necessary for us to grow and evolve. When these people reappear in our lives, it is essential to pay attention to what they are trying to tell us. It may take some time to figure out, but eventually, we will realize that these reminders are what we needed to hear all along. For example, maybe an ex comes back into our life to remind us of something important about ourselves that we lost sight of during the relationship. Or maybe a childhood friend reappears to remind us of a value or belief that we have forgotten. In these cases, these people are not there to cause chaos or drama. Instead, they are there to help us remember something important that we need to move forward in life. Ultimately, it is up to us to decide whether or not we want to listen to these reminders. But if we are open to hearing them, we may just find the clarity we need to make positive changes in our lives. No, 3. They need something from you. Have you ever thought about why certain people come back into your life? Sometimes it can be because they need something from you, whether it's emotional support, practical help, or even just someone to listen to them vent. When someone reaches out to you after a long period of time, it's important to be aware of your own boundaries and not feel obligated to drop everything for them. While it's natural to want to help people, especially those we once cared about, it's also important to prioritize our own needs and well-being. If the person reaching out to us is simply looking for someone to unload their problems onto, it's perfectly acceptable to suggest that they speak to a therapist or counselor instead. It's not our responsibility to be a psychological dumping ground for someone, especially if we don't have a close relationship with them. Additionally, if the person is reaching out to us for practical help, it's important to set clear boundaries and expectations. We should be willing to help those in need, but we should also make sure that we're not taking on more than we can handle. It's perfectly okay to say no if we're not able to help them out at the current time. Ultimately, while it may be tempting to want to help someone who's going through a tough time, it's important to remember that we're not responsible for other people's problems. If someone reaches out to us after a long time and asks for help, we should carefully consider whether or not we're able and willing to provide it without compromising our own well-being. Number 4, to bring balance to your life. Have you ever noticed that when someone new enters your life, everything seems to fall into place? Some people have a way of bringing balance and harmony to our lives, and this is often because they possess qualities that we admire and want to emulate. When we encounter these individuals, we are reminded of the importance of maintaining balance in our own lives and strive to incorporate their positive traits into our own personalities. For example, if we admire someone's sense of adventure and spontaneity, we may be inspired to try new things and take more risks in our own lives. On the other hand, if we are drawn to someone's kindness and compassion, we may be reminded of the importance of helping others and making a positive impact on the world around us. By surrounding ourselves with people who embody the qualities that we admire, we can create a supportive network that encourages us to be the best versions of ourselves. However, it's important to remember that while we can learn from and be inspired by others, ultimately, we are responsible for creating balance in our own lives. We must be willing to put in the effort to develop the qualities we admire in others and make changes where necessary to achieve balance. While some people may naturally possess certain qualities that make them seem balanced, it's not necessarily something that they are born with. Instead, it's often the result of conscious effort and a commitment to personal growth. By recognizing the qualities that we admire in others and striving to incorporate them into our own lives, we can create a more balanced and fulfilling life for ourselves. In conclusion, some people come into our lives at exactly the right time for various reasons. They may be there to teach us a lesson, remind us of something we already know, help us bring balance to our lives, or even show us that we are not alone. Whatever the reason may be, these encounters can have a profound impact on our lives and help us become better, stronger individuals. It's important to be open to the signs and messages that the universe sends us through these special people and to pay attention to the lessons they may be trying to teach us. So the next time someone unexpected enters your life, take a moment to consider why they may be there and what they may have to teach you.